What's up, everybody? This is your boy Montre, and I just want to talk on the topic of morality. I think morality is a big topic for most people because, especially when it comes down to religion, a lot of people who are Christian will get it stuck in their head that if you tell people that you're not Christian, or if you tell people you're anything other than Christian, they automatically lump you into this group of people who are outside of God, outside of morality, not knowing what's right, and doing all types of crazy things. So that's where the programming of people's minds go. People will not vote for a candidate in politics unless they believe they're Christian. You may say that I'm wrong, but I think history has shown here in America that people just don't trust a candidate if they're not Christian. If the candidate is Muslim, somehow that makes them a worse person than being Christian. Or if a person is Jewish. I think we had one Catholic president, which was John F. Kennedy, and they gave him hell about being Catholic. I personally don't believe in religion, but I don't think that if your religion is anything but Christianity, that it should have a problem, that people should have a problem with you. I mean, you should have the right to believe what you want. But that's not my point. That's a tangent. What I want to talk about is morality and how religion does not define morality. In actuality, we can be moral people without religion. We don't need religion to be moral. You don't need the Bible or Christianity or the Torah or the Quran to be a moral person. It is something that is already wired into us. And I'm going to tell you why. Because everything that you learned about morality, you did not learn from religion, actually. The morality that is defined in the Bible, that is defined in your religious work of whatever you read, usually is how people define morality then. All morality, and I wrote this on my Facebook, is defined and dictated by the need for survival. First is survival of yourself and your family. Secondly, it's the survival of the group, survival of the tribe. So we dictate what's moral for us based upon our need to survive. So it would be wrong to steal food or anything like that from the group if as a group you're trying to survive. If people are constantly stealing food, then eventually people are going to get upset and somebody's going to kill somebody. Then it becomes immoral to kill somebody, because if you're trying to survive as a group, as a tribe, as a nation, you can't have your own people killing each other. However, it does not become immoral to kill the other tribe or the other nation, because if that nation is threatening your survival, then all of a sudden war becomes a moral thing. When it comes to personal morality can be quite different from the morality of the group. Sometimes what's good for the group is not good for the personal person. And this is where we get sexuality and things. The conflict between homosexuality is wrong, or this is wrong, or that's wrong. And that's because when people look at things as sexuality, things such as sexuality, they see it as immoral because they say, well, how can you survive like that? There's no way you can have kids. There's no way you can do that. So every time people try to decide whether homosexuality is moral or immoral, they always go back to the means of survival. Well, this is the 21st century, and when it comes to population survival, we have more than enough people on this planet. We have more than enough kids who don't have parents. So that's kind of thrown out because, a homosexual couple can adopt kids. A homosexual couple doesn't need to have sex with each other to have children. They can do a surrogate mother or a surrogate father, a donor. So because of science, there's other ways of having children. Just like a heterosexual couple, for a woman who's barren, she doesn't have to divorce her husband or go outside her marriage and allow her husband to cheat to have a child. In the Bible, a woman would have to do that. Her husband would have to remarry. But that would be immoral now, because there's other means of having children for women who can't bear children. So this is what I'm talking about: survival and morality. When it comes down to the survival of the unit, the personal family unit, there's so many ways to survive now. So our morals do change over time when we find new ways of surviving, when we find more efficient ways of survival. It's no longer survival of the fittest. That's immoral. Actually, to say survival of the fittest is immoral. Why? Because we have hospitals and medicines and stuff. So if there is a way for us to save somebody, if you're not going to let somebody who is sick die, if there's a way to save them, because that would be immoral. Survival of the fittest is an immoral statement. Also, though, on the flip side, and I think a lot of people, it's still debated now whether somebody who is sick and dying, if they decide that they want to have an assisted death, is it immoral or moral? And in my personal opinion, with the rules of survival, at this point, the person's personal survival is their mind, not their body. So if they're so sick and they're in so much pain and they're suffering, the only thing they're really worried about right now is the survival of their mind, and they don't want to live anymore. So I believe that, according to my theory of survival and morality, that if the person no longer chooses to allow their body to cause them pain anymore, and they wanted a medical assisted death, then that's their right. It's the most moral thing to do. It's the most ethical thing to do for that person. That's just my opinion. Please tell me your opinion on what you believe about survival and morality, and do your morals change when it comes to survival, or do you clearly define your morals based off of an ancient book? Let me know. Give me your opinion, your comments, because if you don't do it, then who will?